Okay, we are back here. Again, we got a lot of stuff done already here today. I was going to put a seam right here in this doorway. Let it fall over and put a seam on that wall. However, from this piece from that doorway, it actually fell into this room right here enough to where I didn't have to make a seam over there. So, thankfully for that, instead of having it seam right here in the doorway, I just scooted it over to right there, and I had like an 8-foot seam versus a 15-foot seam and then a doorway seam. So I eliminated one seam by scooting it over just a little bit. I know some of you guys are gonna say, you shouldn't do that. You put them in doorways in case anything ever happens, blah, 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 blah. True, okay? I ain't gonna argue with you, true. Anyway, after I made that, stretched it that way. You see, I got it stuck off over there. Then I turned around and stretched this direction so I could get this stay nailed it, and got this seamed up, row cut and seamed up and everything like that. And I'm in here now fixing to make this long seam. This piece right here, it fell all the way. I took and went from here all the way to that back wall. Now that's going to cause me to have a seam here, and back there's one, same thing here, seam right there, and then back there will be another seam. But I wanted to run it front to back rather than crossways. I think my seam's going to be better off over there rather than right out here. These rooms are almost square. They're like 15 by 15 almost. They're like 15 something by 15. So they're like almost perfectly square. Anyway, I wanted to point something out here. Right here, well, this by all means did not have a 1.6 inch pattern match like I was told either. This actually has a 2'4" by 1'6". 2'4" being the length, 1'6" being the depth of it. Anyway, things kind of hard to find with this kind of carpet, so to make it easier, I cut off just the selvage edges. You know how carpet does like that. You cut off both selvage edges and they butt up as long as you get your length lined up properly. Even that, with all these little lines, is kind of hard to find. So see what I've done right here. See my line? Look, here you go. Hook me up right here. Let you video over right here so you can see what's going on. So I got my line right here. What I did, I found a particular pattern that I wanted to go by. This one just happened to be that particular little thing. I find it again at 1'6", and then I find it again at 1'6". I take my straight edge, I place it right on the edge of my patterns, and I go like that. But it got me a line there, okay? And also, once I get this here, because it's just all kinds of little squiggly lines, all crazy and stuff, in order to make sure that I was dead on right here, I laid this out here like so. Actually, it looks like it does need to come over a little bit. I'll do that before I get going on. I can just do that right there right now. A little much looks like. There we go. So I'll lay my straight edge on my line right there. It'll stay where you put it. It'll run straight right in the nap of the carpet, so I can do that. And see where it hits my pattern. Making sure that it hits the same spot. Like this, I was right here in the little C. I come over and find my little C again, make sure it hit the same spot. Another 1'6" right here. Boom, boom. Make sure that it hits the same spot in my pattern across my field piece. That way I know I have my piece like it should be. Just by running that straight edge across there. A lot easier to help match it up perfectly when you got all these little random, little carpet lines right there. So you can see what kind of carpet that is. So it's definitely easier to run a straight edge on this and find your particular little pattern. For instance, like this piece right here is what I was going by. See, it looks kind of like a little C. So that's what I was going by. And every so, and then I measure over also from this one over to my next piece right here, and it is 1'6" from pattern to pattern, just to make sure I got my proper amount of rows cut off. So cock-a-doodle-doo, we're gonna get this seamed up and get some stuff stretched in. Keep going. Alrighty, so let me run over what we did here. You guys may have noticed that, I told you already, we stretched that way after we made this seam, come over here and straighten out this, blah, 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 blah. After that, after we got this room in here done, obviously, well, to pick up where we left off. This was already stretched. Tack this back, put my stretchers right about here, stretched up at an angle right there, swung my stretchers back around over here, went at an angle that direction there, took my kneeless, boom, 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 stretched up from this corner to that corner. Then all of this could be kneeless back and tied off. Once that was done, obviously we stretched that way. Coming in here to the next room, we already had this stretched this direction, so kneeless this back, kneeless that back, come up here and straight through the doorway. See that? Kneeless that wall back. And I did this just a little bit different. I came and from this wall first. So I have my toe piece there and I stretched right up to this right here. Looky here, let me get at this angle. I stretched right up to there, almost to the doorway right there. And then I started working this direction. When I got done with that, I shortened my stretchers, came back to this wall, and boom, boom. Got me a couple more stretches from here to there to finish out that little bit. Instead of starting all right here and coming this direction like a person would normally do, I did it differently. Just because I didn't want to get too much craziness right here. I didn't want it bunching up or anything like that. So went centered that way and then that way. Then once I had that done, I was able to kneeless that back, tie off, bring my stretchers in here, and finish stretching up this way. Again, in here, we just pulled the nails up. Once I got my stretchers up there, we got our stretchers there. Tying this off here, this way, we kneelessed it back, got it all stuck on a strip, and now we are, you see, trimming and tucking it, fixing to go that way. Once we get it all done that way, then we will actually, as soon as I get out of the way enough right here, he will start kneelessing that back and get that trimmed, tied off, trimmed, and tucked as I'm working my way across the room this way. So, cock-a-doodle-doodle, I say. Cock-a-doodle-doodle. And I will probably wait on the rest of this until tomorrow. We're going to have this little hallway and this super long closet here, which got to be a seam there, seam back there, 2 seams in here. And then after that, I'll still have these little cubbies to do. I'll probably come back tomorrow by myself and do that stuff. That cubby and that cubby over there. Because it is already after 5 o'clock. I think it's about 5:30. Alrighty. We are tidied up and ready to go. I don't like that coming over off that edge of the carpet like that, just like a daggum 1/2 inch, maybe 2 or 3 rows to get to the actual pattern. I don't like doing that. I wish I had enough material to scoot over into it, but that would be like 3 extra feet of width, because it's 1'6" and 1'6" off of both pieces to scoot over, and I just didn't have it. But I just don't like the way they look. Only trimming 2 or 3 rows off the edge, and then boom, there's your pattern. Don't get over into the material far enough to make them pretty. Let's see, right there, right down through there. Just don't like it. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a crazy installer. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Daily Grind. Until tomorrow, FBSB's out.